Morning, everyone. It is Saturday, February 22nd, and it is time to head to the Allentown train show. So a little bit of a slower start this morning. I have the tickets to get in at 8 o'clock, so we're gonna get there a little bit after 8 o'clock today. I just didn't feel like getting up that early to get there right at 8. It's usually a bit of a cluster getting in the doors first thing there, so I figure we'll get there around 8:30 or so. Let the first rush people go in, and then I'll come in afterwards. And I'm not really looking for anything specific today, other than obviously my white whale BR44. And if that's there, the odds of it being there are slim to none anyway. So we'll just kind of wait and see. If I don't spend any money today, that's great. I'm looking just mostly for some Steam Era rolling stock, maybe some Atlas rolling stock. I'm picking up my Berwicks from Stu at Metka. So I've got three that I'm picking up from him today. And so we'll show those later. And then after the show, we're gonna go to Don Kaiser's house with the Lower Susquehanna Valley Club and a few others and run some trains there. So I'll have footage from Don's layout. So definitely stay tuned in this video for that. I've gotten some feedback in my previous videos when we're in hobby shops and shows of like panning too quickly. I'm gonna do my best to slow down. Maybe we'll do some still shots and some voiceovers today as well. And that should make this a little bit more of a comfortable video for all of you to watch. So with that, it's about an hour and 20 to get up to Allentown. So let's hit the road. So a little bit of the history of the Allentown show, not so much history, but just a little bit about it. The Allentown show happens twice a year. They have it in the fall, in November, and it is the first frost show, and then they have it again in the spring, and it's the spring thaw or first thaw show. And that happens in late February. So I think it's always the weekend after President's Day weekend. So two days, is a Saturday, Sunday show at the Allentown Fairgrounds. And it's kind of like two buildings combined into one. You can kind of walk through, and I've only ever been there once or twice. I think I've been there twice, and it's a great show. It's one of my favorite shows next to York for O scale, and so I've been able to find some great stuff there. I was there with RJ the last time, which might have been almost a full year ago. We went up and we found some MTH wood-sided passenger cars in Long Island for him. I think I picked up maybe a high cube, I forget. There's a lot of great stuff there, and I hope to show you guys some of that. And then that was the show that we went down and stopped at Iron Horse Hobbies in Reading, and then ended up picking up the MTH PS3 Canadian Pacific ES44 for Jason Stuckert. And looking back on that, I wish I would have just bought it for myself, but he was excited that we were able to find that for him. So we bought it for him, and then we went to Don Kaiser's house for a little bit after that. So this show, we'll do some more of a vlog style and some pictures to show you what we see at the show. If you're ever in the area around Allentown, I highly recommend trying to get to this show. It's a nice in-between since York is still 2 months away. And again, great stuff that you're gonna find there, and it usually gets pretty crowded. So we'll see. Like I said, not looking for much today, maybe some Steam Era rolling stock. I'm already picking up some Berwicks, but they're already paid off, which is nice. And so we'll just kind of see what we get into. I am debating looking at transitioning the kids train table that I built that doesn't get used all that much anymore into an N scale layout, and I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. So I don't anticipate finding a lot of nice N scale stuff at this show, but that's something that I might start looking into getting. I've been consulting with a couple other folks on Instagram that have N scale and understand like DCC, because I don't, and kind of what I would need to get started in that. And I would probably jump right into like DCC with sound. There's no sense in doing anything other than that in my mind. So looking at I've already designed a couple layouts that would fit on that little 4x8 sheet of plywood. So we'll see. That will be a whole other series. But I don't anticipate finding much N scale today. So we'll see what we can find. But we should be there in about, what's Waze telling me, an hour and 14 minutes. That'll get us there about 20 minutes after they open, which is right where I wanted to be. So let's go. Heading into the Allentown train show, you park at the fairgrounds and the buildings. There's usually a long line waiting outside. Once you get in, if you've got the ticket to get you at 8 o'clock, you can get in. It's not too crowded. I head right to the main big building. Trains and things is set up usually front and center, and then you've got all sorts of vendors, private sellers, and dealers throughout the rest of the building itself. Stopping at Trains and Things, Tony's always got a lot of great stuff. Lots of MTH and some Lionel. He also had some post-war items as well in his collection that he brought with him for sale at the show. walking around, swung past the one Metka table. They had all their wood-sided reefers out.
Hey, Chris.
How are ya?
All right.
Then heading over to Grisbosky, they set up along the one back wall and bring probably the most stuff I've seen at this show. They probably had the biggest table and booth. They bring lots of their Lehigh Valley and Reading stuff, obviously, because of the area where this is at. They had a ton of Atlas rolling stock, as you can see here. And I ended up picking up some rolling stock from Joe while I was at the show. Continuing on, just some other vendors have some loose rolling stock. So if you're looking for something specific, you kind of have to hunt and peck around to see what you can find. But usually there's some hidden gems in here. Some folks have some better displays, like this guy brought his whole shelving unit, so you can kind of see everything that he had on display outside boxes. All right, so Costa's Town and Country Trains always bring some high quality stuff. They had some triplexes. They had the F-19 for about $1,000, and they had the Vision Line Superset, the triplex one, for about $34.99, which was probably the best price I've seen on that set so far. This was the set that Trains and Things had brought. They had two of these standard gauge sets that were in really great condition, and then some new Lionel diesels as well. You won't just find trains at this show, you'll find artwork and different odds and ends and railroad. Here we have the Menards booth. So it's not run by Menards, but it's a dealer that brings all these Menards buildings, and he has them, most of them, powered and lit and running, which is pretty cool to actually see them as they would look on your layout. It's nice to be able to buy things like Menards products right at the show, and then some other just scenic items, some utility vehicles and construction vehicles and whatnot. And yeah, so then we head over to the Just Trains booth. They always bring a great collection of things. They had the new MTH SD50s. They had their last J1A Hudson from MTH at under $1,000, and then a bunch of other MTH items and Atlas items, as we'd expect to see from Just Trains. Really nice SD50 here in Reading and Northern, and then lots and lots of rolling stock. So just purple boxes on top of purple boxes. They did have a decent selection of Atlas products as well, so just kind of hunting around to see what all they have here at this booth. Moving on, we've got some post-war inspired things here, some more pictures, some nice Pennsylvania cars here, a 4-pack, and then a CC2S. Box was a little worn. There was no sticker for the price, and I'm always fearful of picking those things up unless I know who had it and know that it runs. Some nice MTH New York Central cars, and this reefer set here, this MTH P5A set was really nice, but about $700, so we went ahead and gave that one a pass. There was a gentleman that had lots of old New York City subway stuff that he's gotten from the railroad, so if you're looking at collecting that type of stuff, he had it there. Not looking for subway things, but if it was just general railroad signage, I probably would have been more interested. So this is the other building. So another just rows and rows of vendors. This is the hall that Nicholas Smith is in. Ralph's Trains was also at the show. He had some of his HO scale models and then his O scale models. Just absolutely phenomenal detailing on these flat cars that he custom does. He does the wood decking and then puts the die cast construction vehicles or whatever on top of them. They are not cheap, but they are extremely well detailed. My issue with these is I need like 10 to 20 of them, and that would cost a fortune. Moving on to the smaller hall, there's some great booths with some new Atlas and Lionel items. This Lionel pedal car was there, which I thought was pretty cool in like a Thomas scheme. So that was available. It was the last one they had. And then again, just more rolling stock. There was a guy that was selling some Atlas H21A hoppers for really good prices. I ended up passing on those. By the time I came back, they were gone, which was fine with me. And then stopped at Nicholas Smith. They had a bunch of stuff available, some really good prices. They had the Lionel Santa Fe, like Blue Goose Northern engine for a knockout price of about $1,000. And then finishing up the day at Metka, they had their full lineup of engines available. Someone was buying one of these Aberdeen GP9s when I was there, which is great to see. And so just some awesome items there that they have. That Lehigh Valley ES44 and the original paint scheme still available. They've got a couple of the other options there. And then I was able to pick up my Berwicks from them. All right, so heading out of the show, I traded my Canadian Pacific Hapag Lloyd Heritage unit for my buddy Dan for an engine that I'm really excited about that he picked up at Amherst. I picked up two packs of rotary gondolas, the old bathtubs from Lionel. Grisbowski had those. I plan on picking up some more from him at York. And then I grabbed some tweezers that I actually have in my pocket. Let me get those out of my pocket. Some tweezers from the tool guy, because it's better than buying them on Amazon and whatnot, and he's got really good prices. And then I picked up my Berwicks from Stu at Medka. I pre-ordered those. They are all sold out of them, so I've got 3, and we'll show them here down the road. I've got 3 at home. I just picked up 3 more. I was able to get 1 more from him. I forgot that I had ordered. And so then I'm waiting for the ones from Train World, which I think are gonna get delivered today. So that'll put me at, I think, 8 total Berwicks, which is awesome. So heading to Don's now. If depending on time, I might swing into Iron Horse Hobbies if they're open. I have not been there since the last time we were there together, so maybe we'll swing in there on the way to Don's. Just depends on time. All right, so we're here at Iron Horse Hobbies in Reading. So we're gonna check out what they have before we go over to Don's house. And last time I was here, they had some hidden gems, so let's check it out.
And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Ozempic, semaglutide, butyrate. Now see if they're right for you. Use your health. The best online weight loss program in town. Go to tryadh.com. Tryadh.com. Butyrate is not a healthcare services provider. More prescribed Hi, I'm Jenna Fisher. A little over a year ago, during a routine mammogram and ultrasound, I was diagnosed with triple-positive breast cancer. Caught early, many common cancers have survival rates.
So not much in the cabinets. These Reading ST45s are really nice, though. Really nice. We've got the Lionel UP 1943 also. So, yeah, not bad. We'll see what else they have in here, and then we'll head over to Don's house.
Providing safe and reliable energy services depends on these action steps. Clear snow and ice from your meter with a broom.
Some American Flyer stuff.
Keep appliance vents clear to prevent carbon monoxide buildup. Install carbon monoxide detectors.
Got some train man stuff. Shocking. Reading. I would have guessed.
At least the length of a football field away. And call 911 or UGI at 800-276-7722.
All Reading cabooses.
For more energy safety tips, go to UGI.com.
Ooh, some N-scale stuff here. Cool. All right, so we are here at Don Kaiser's house. His layout is 3 levels. No inclines or declines. Everything stays at its own level. So 3 separate loops. The one top loop goes around the entire basement into his back storage room and then underneath his display cases. The middle loop has the Santa Fe passenger train on it right now with the war bonnets. Those are, I think, E7 shells, even though they're supposed to be E8s because I don't think the Santa Fe had E7s. That's on the middle loop, and then the BNSF train here is on the lower loop. He's got this fantastic scene here. It's my favorite scene on his layout, and there are plenty of scenes on this layout to really, really enjoy. It's just an awesome layout. So I'll get some shots for all of you. Enjoy, and then we'll catch you on the next one. So we're just gonna watch this and then close it up. Let me know what your favorite part of the video was. Thank you for watching. following along for this great adventure at the Allentown show, Iron Horse Hobbies, and then Don's house.
I always thought, guess what? I was a doctor. I was always 5'7" to 5'4". I think she said 5'4". I don't think I've shrunk that much. I think they're more measuring things off because it's not like my pants all of a sudden are limited on your legs. Yeah, but I haven't. I think they're over. I realize I'm not.
To me, you did the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Chris, and we were down to like 8 or so people.
Yeah.
And so this is the set that goes all the way around the basement, comes back here, and then back out and around. Here's some more storage shelves that Don has. These are the things you don't normally see. If we come back over here around the water heater, you'll see these. This track goes out to the mid-level. You can see there's war bonnets sitting there. This is that upper loop. But he can then bring trains back in here and then store some long trains here.